All right, we are live. I'm going to go check one thing. We don't have anybody in watching lately, right now. And one thing that I had trouble with last time I went live on the Scotch Test Dummies show, which is my other show, was I was unable to see the chat screen that was going on. So I'm going to come in and look real quick on YouTube Direct and see if it will let me get in on the chat side of things. View and live control chat room, trying to go straight into there. I will end up having to mute this, so bear with me if you've come on already. That's not going to work. All right, let's just pop out of here. There's been some weird things between StreamYard and the live shows as far as the chat screen working. So I can see 3 people are in. If one of you will do me a favor and just type in a simple hello. Last time I was live again on the Scott Show, we could not see any of the chats coming up. So I've sent out a little welcome hello myself. I was hoping that if it wasn't working, I could go look at it just on a breakout chat screen on YouTube, but it looks like I may have to do that. Hey, there we go. Look at that. They all just clicked in. All in a beautiful. Tom D. Hey, Chief. Good. Up first. Yes, you are. Dipsy Doozy. Hey, good. All right. That'll keep me from having to kind of tech around the problem. Kabuki Kid is in. What is going on? All right. So a quick touchstone on what we're going to talk about this little impromptu live. I took today off because I had to get caught up on my gaming stuff. So I will spend some time talking about an upcoming kind of interview with Tom Shaw, who worked at Avalon Hill. He was the vice president of operations. I think I got the term right. He was like the main guy at Avalon Hill. At an upper managerial level for 32 years. I've got a pseudo interview with him. Pseudo, what is that? I'll come back and explain that later, so stay tuned if you want to know what that's going to be. We're going to talk about a free game giveaway / drawing, I don't know what to call it, that's going to be for Patreon supporters. We'll come back and talk about that. There'll be a video popping that I recorded on that Friday. Right now, Patreon supporters can see it already. I wanted them to take a look at it, say, hey, is there anything here with this game giveaway? It's designed to be fun. It'll be game-like. Again, we'll talk more. It's designed to hopefully increase Patreon support. Always good to have that coming in. And it's designed to help me get rid of, I'm going to show you some of them, some things. Those are games, maybe even the preview copies of games that aren't the finished prototype, but I'll be giving those away. So we'll talk more about that. We'll reference just filmed some B-17 sessions where I have Patreon crew members on there. I've got one that I'm editing, and then I just flew mission 9 and prepped for mission 10. I will tell you somewhere soon, there's a brand new Patreon member coming on as crew. Not going to tell you if that's mission 8 or 9. You'll have to watch. Also, again, a little rusty. I hadn't played in a while. Had a couple little flubs. And if we want, we can talk about my unboxing of Dr. Ruth. Ooh. So let's start with that, because that one still cracks me up, and I did the unboxing because I thought it was funny. So I had Mark Herman on. We were doing one of my Avalon Hill history segments where I'm trying to interview anybody and everybody I can that worked at Avalon Hill. And he, of course, was again, I'm not sure this is the official title. I think he told me and I forgot, vice president of operations for Victory Games, which was a subsidiary of Avalon Hill. Very interesting video, very long video. He gave me very gracious with his time. Eric Dott, who is the owner of Monarch Avalon Hill, or Monarch Avalon, Avalon Hill, basically, was limited. A game company, Avalon Hill, can only have so many games on the shelf. So when SPI went out of business, Mark Herman came on running Victory Games, full subsidiary of Avalon Hill, and allowed them to get a whole nother set of games on the shelf. And boy, was that great. I love Victory Games. This Saturday, Judd and I are going to do our top 5. You'll see that coming up. And Mark mentioned that his #1 seller for Victory Games of all time, not even close, was Dr. Ruth's Game of Good Sex. Should be Great Sex, but I think it was just Good Sex. And I think it sold like 300, 400,000 copies. If memory serves, and it probably doesn't, I think #2 for Victory Games, I don't remember which game, sold like 87,000 copies. So you can see it's not even a race. Knowing that, not having Dr. Ruth's game, I searched it out, got it. It feels, looks, well, not necessarily looks, but it's a Victory Games box and packaging with the box turned landscape mode instead of portrait mode, and a mounted board that's clearly got its mounting, sounds terrible, done at Avalon Hill. So I did an unboxing that I also did like the best game of all time. Now here's something I'll point out. Apparently Wargamers or whoever watches my show does not like the fact that I did it. Not everybody. More than normal, thumb down the video. They did not like the unboxing of Victory Games' #1 selling game of all time. Come on. And the components were actually really good. So I thought it was good. I was surprised it got thumb down. I don't care. Thumb down's interaction, just like thumbs up. If you guys haven't given it a thumb, please go by and thumb it up for me, just because I think that would be funny if it got a bunch of thumbs. I actually didn't think it would do poorly. I even thought it might, just because of the sexes in the title, that it might get more views than some of my normal war game stuff. Let's see who else is in here. Kabuki Kid, did James Bond 007 sell well for Victory? You know, he couldn't remember individual names for everything on there. You know, or names, selling numbers. So, and I can't remember. I don't think we talked about 007. You know, they had their role-playing magazine called Heroes. That's hard to get now. And then well, I guess that was Avalon Hill that had Heroes. Victory Games had, what was it called? Victory Games? They had like a little insert you could get. So I don't remember. Let's see what else is on here. Some cross chat. Great. You guys cross chat all you want. There's that on there. That's good. All right. Let's go on to, let's talk about, let me take a sip. I've been playing, it was a long game of B-17. And I got 1804. What is it? Austerlitz. Jeez. Which is 1805, I think. Austerlitz is on the table over there, and I'm going to get a review of that filmed probably today and tomorrow. Had to get that on there because my games are stacking up for review. Let's talk Tom Shaw. So I was reading Tom Shaw's book. Let me grab it. This, see if I can get the glare off of it, is Tom Shaw's book, Confessions of an 84-year-old Teenager. Not, you know, self-published, I'm sure. You got his picture on the back. Get the glare off. I think that's like 1964, 62. This book is awesome. And, you know, I was trying to find Tom via the internet, couldn't find him. He mentions that he was living in the villages when he wrote this book, but I think this was written in 2014. I believe in the book it mentions he was born in 1930, I want to say. So, of course, that made him 90. And I couldn't find anything on him. And I got lucky and was able to get a hold of a nephew. And that nephew, who was a chess player, so there was a gamer element there, reached out and got permission for me to get his email. And he will be, when I get it out there, he said he's willing, he said I could share one of his emails. So when I do my show that focuses on him, that'll be in there. And we chatted via email. Now, he told me he couldn't go live. He said his hearing's basically shot. And even with the use of hearing aids, he can't hear properly. And he did not want to do a live show. And he said, get a hold of Don Greenwood. He's really the main guy anyway. I was running upper operation stuff. He was doing heavy portions of game design and working with designers and his portion of the general, although Shaw did general as well early on. He started it. And I said, yeah, I would love to have Don, Mr. Greenwood, on the show. But, Tom, I'd love to have you on there as well. Can I call you and just put you on speaker and interview you that way? And you can talk for 10 minutes if you want, 15. He said, no, can't hear good enough for that either. So I said, can I send you 20 questions, just 20 questions, and you can answer them, and I'll read them? Yes. He said, yes, you can do that. And then I got greedy. I said, what if I sent you a digital recorder? You could read them, but answer them onto the recorder, and I'll pay for return shipping, and then I'll load that. He said, no, will not do that. And I was like, got it. I'll read them. I'll do the reading of your answers. So what I've got to create, and I want to do it good, because part of my deal is I want to do Tom justice, and I want to keep having more Avalon Hill folks come on, including, hopefully, at some point, Mr. Greenwood. So I'm going to put an interview together that's going to be somewhat history, because I will reference portions of Tom's book. I won't reference it all. I'm not going to be, I'll have segments of it, and I will encourage folks to go purchase the book as well. And then I will definitely use the questions I asked and his answers. That'll be part of the show as well. And hopefully he'll enjoy it. So I'm going to be working on that probably this weekend and for a week, as long as work stays okay. Things got a little hot the other night, and so my team's out while I'm out working on a murder, but we'll see. As long as I can get some time, I'll be focusing on that. And also a little tidbit, Tom, always playing sports, was always playing baseball. There's some great baseball stories in here, and that'll be on the show. But when he got to the villages, he started playing pickleball. I didn't know anything about pickleball. And it was funny because one of my guys is one of those that works for me. He's one of these guys that you just mention something and he knows like depth about it. Like you could bring up hockey and he suddenly knows some obscure guy or the nickname for Gretzky, which I think is the great one. But all of a sudden he's telling me about pickleball and how there's less lateral movement and how tennis courts are being converted to pickleball. It's a whole different kind of game, tickle. And how you got to stay, you got to stay out of the kitchen. And I'm like, what are you talking about? He goes, pickleball, man. I got a pickleball paddle and blah. And he was telling me that when you go to a court, if someone's on the court, you put your paddle in this little thing, and then that means you're the next one up. And I said, that sounds like when I was at the arcade and you put your quarter on the screen and that meant you were going to play next. He goes, yep, same thing. So I'm actually going to have him probably pop on. And I just saw Vorpal say, hello, ugly. Glad to see you again. Kudos, Vorpal. So I'm going to even have my guy come on and pinch hit on what pickleball is. So it'll be a little bit of a weird interview, but I'm going to have fun with it and hopefully do Tom justice. He also played, he doesn't play anymore, in a band, a bluegrass band, and he plays the mandolin. And I tried to get a digital snippet of his band, and he said he didn't have any. So I'm going to search the web. I don't think I'm going to be able to find it, but if I could get some of his music, and it was out there, and it's not copyrighted, there's all kinds of stuff. I was hoping he could send me it, but he didn't have any. Then I would love to have some of his music on there. So he said his part's simply instrumental with the mandolin. But you'll get more of that. So that'll be coming up. Let's see. Pickleball, Tom D says, balls make great youth baseball practice balls. Interesting. Did not know that. I'm interested in playing, actually. So the guy that works for me, his last name is Stark. Yes, like the famous, but he's not Iron Man. It sounds like maybe something I could play. I tried tennis once, horrible, and there was a lot of side-to-side running. Played some racquetball in the day. Let's see, Vorpal, that name pickleball doesn't sound right to me. Yeah, I don't even know, much about it. But let's see, Nathaniel Robinson, Dr. Ruth and Tickleball. No. But I get the confusion. Let's see, what else is on here? Murder, oof, yeah, I know, Kabuki. I had just gotten off work, and it's in an area where we used to have lots of problems in this area, and it had been kind of quiet lately. But and then I was scheduled for today off, but I got some late night calls last night, and my team had to go in and do some stuff this morning. You could act out the interview with Bart. It'll kind of be, I'm not going to act it out, but I'll try to make it as engaging as possible. It's going to be a little hard for me because when you don't have that interviewee on the other side, it's not that give and take. You should have seen the amount of time. I took like a week trying to formulate the questions because I didn't want them to just be about games, and I had to have in order to get a good question, I had to do a lot of research, and then a lot of which he'd already answered in the book. And I thought, okay, I don't want to double down. So that's all behind the scenes. Hopefully it comes out good. So just getting hold of Tom has been fabulous. And he keeps telling me, you really don't want to interview me. You want to interview Don Greenwood. And I said, yes, I do. And I finally told him, do me a favor. If I get this done properly and you like it, will you do the introduction via email? Maybe get hold of Don and say, hey, take a look. This went well. He loves Avalon Hill. Would you be interested in doing an interview live or audio? I'll call him and he can do a Q&A over the phone and I'll put it on speaker. We'll see. So I'm hoping it'll lead to more interviews because I really enjoy doing these interviews. I got to tell you, I'll keep doing the Avalon interviews, but it's given me some other ideas that I'm going to follow up on. Kind of like how I had Mark on, although that was victory games. Let's see. Questions can be a very serious matter. Not with me. Well, there was one serious one. I'll give you a little tidbit. Tom played semi-pro baseball for years. He had a tryout on like a minor league deal and it didn't work out. But there were all these like Baltimore teams that he played on, and they were everywhere, and you could get paid to do it. And so, of course, Jackie Robinson, Major League Baseball had been integrated, but he states in the book that these little city leagues were not. There were all black teams, but then there were all white teams, and he was the first one to integrate a team. Which, even as I'm reading it, I'm like, really? And, so I do ask him a question kind of about that. Because that was pretty interesting. So it just seemed, but hey, we're talking the 60s. So, all right, let's see what else is on there. We'll save some of that, obviously. I don't want to give up all the stuff, but you'll hear some of those that have nothing to do with gaming, other than baseball. He loves physical sports. Let's see. The Chief, no giveaways on Patreon, Conflict Magazine. Yes, there will be. I'm going to try a 6-month deal where I'm giving away some games on Patreon. I will talk about that. Don't touch my pickle. We have a deal where on the Scott Show, people that support on Patreon, if they support at a certain level, they can send in a photo and we'll put up the photo and then we kind of comment on it. And our rule is you can send us a photo, but you always have to have the pickle covered. And then people have said, we had a gal actually send in a photo, say, what if and I said, well, the pickle means anything that needs to be covered to be on the show. So, but we have fun with that as well. All right, let's see. Do you have to be a good player? Can anybody do it? You know what? When we do the show, I'll have my pickleball expert explain pickleball, and we'll see on that. So let's talk about the giveaways on Patreon. It's a Patreon giveaway. So here's what I'm going to do. There are some games that I was going to get rid of. I was actually going to put them on eBay. I'll show you one of them, Lock and Load Band of Brothers. I got this years ago. I think it's even unpunched. I bought this. I did not like the style of the hexagons on the board. They have white outlines. To me, it looks like you've laid chicken wire over a beautiful geomorphic board. And I could not, my focus kept going to the lines and not the detail, and I just couldn't get into it. It kind of ruined it for me. And so I never played this. And I hear it's good. They even put out new boards that didn't have what I call the chicken wire. And I got a hold of them and said, I think I talked to them at a con, said, can I just buy the new boards? I'll buy them. And they said, no, some people like those white boards. Okay, I don't. Can I give you money and buy the boards? No. So this will be on the giveaway. There's no point in me holding on to it. This from PSC, the Cold War Quartermaster General. This is one of the best preview copies I've ever gotten. Everything in here is like the final stuff. The only thing, I got the new one when it came in. What is that? I'm getting some kind of alert. Oh. Hold on. I gotta snooze that. Goodness. This came in. The only thing that's different is the final game has like more of a linen finish to the stickers, basically, that go on the cardboard box, and the cards are more of a faux linen finish, and these cards aren't. But otherwise, this is like, I mean, there may have been some other changes, but you know, whatever. I've included on there Dominion, which is not even out yet, from Phalanx. And so what you'll see, though, is like the rules are still paper. They, I think a rubber band just dropped there or something. So the rules are not in that final format, but they're all there. But the cards here are great. There's tons of bits that, you know, I mean, you just got tanks and battleships and everything, but you'll see the board won't, the colors don't quite pop as good as the finished version, but you'll have a chance of winning something before it's even out. And then I won't go into it, but Race for Moscow as well. So those will be on there, and a show will kick out on how that game giveaway will work. And if people don't want to be involved, they don't have to be involved. You know, it's a way for me to cool down, get rid of some games that I don't need to hold on to. And I can give them away to folks that are helping to support the show. It will be, I'll have to come on to Patreon, go to Patreon, go to Bonding with Board Games, and you can support for $10 a month and be in the drawing. Enough on that. There'll be a full video on that. However, if anybody has questions, I'm going to do it with just 6 games. I'm going to do a random drawing for both the game and a random drawing for the person that'll win it. They have to pay the shipping. That way I can open it up worldwide. And then if somebody says, I already have that game, or I don't want to pay the shipping for that game, it'll just go back in the hopper for another drawing in the future. I won't keep redrawing because that can go ad infinitum. Do we have something jump? Poison the conversation with politics. Oh, yeah. Let's leave politics out of it. Maybe somebody jumped in. I've learned a long time ago. Actually, I have friends on all sides of the spectrum. So I lean libertarian, which makes me weird for both sides. Both sides don't like libertarians. So that's where I lean. I lean libertarian. So that's kind of where I'm always at. I always end up in a spot where everybody's like, what? What is that? I don't even know what that is. Like, yeah, okay. Let's see. Oh, where are we at? We'll take a look here at some comments, and then I think, I'll talk strategy page in a little bit too, because that's been really neat. It's kind of a fun thing that's happened on my end here. Let's see. Paid to play baseball from Vorpal. Pickle is code jet pilots use. I thought it meant if they put the bomb like right, they'd say they got it in a pickle jar. That would mean they got it right on target, if memory serves. Conflict. Keep saying stop on the giveaway. I don't even know what that means. So therein comes, so let's see. Yeah, leave all the, shoot, somebody commented. Let's see, click another, okay. Did you know? Oh, come on. All right, let me just, okay, so if it'll stop moving, there, we'll see. I've never had to put somebody in timeout. There, I just put them in timeout. If you're on, let's talk games, not politics. This is not a political show. Unless we're talking about like one of the, a board game about politics. You know what I want to get is GMT's got that solitaire game called Making of the President or something like that, and it's like 2002 on, and it's all about you making decisions that come across your desk and you're the president. Man, I want to play that. That was sitting on their list for a long time too. No enemies here. That's Dan Pancaldi. What are you doing, brother? What are you doing? You can't do giveaways on Patreon. It's against their rules. Oh, well, I'm not doing the giveaway on Patreon, I guess. I don't know. Maybe I got to go look at it. So maybe I'm breaking the rules is what you're saying. That would be interesting. It's not a drawing or it's not a raffle. I don't think raffles are allowed, but okay, we'll go look. It's just a fun thing where anybody that's a supporter, I'll do a giveaway, but I'll go read the Patreon rules. Thank you for mentioning that. I'll make sure I follow whatever they are. I didn't have this plan until the 15th of next month anyway. And maybe I've got to call it a giveaway or something. I don't know, or a supporter friend thing. Who knows? If I'm in violation, it'll stop quickly. So you were voicing that there's rules on that. Oh, Watergate is a great two-player game. Okay, so Watergate's not what I was talking about, but yeah, that would be the only politics we'd want to talk about would be something that's game-related. Like the board game of the 1960, the deal where you're kind of running a campaign. That's a fun game. I can't remember the full name. Let's see. No enemies here. Beethoven broke the rules, and look at him now. Well, I won't break the Patreon rules. I don't need him to get mad at me. Oh, yeah, the War Room. I'm still saving up to buy the $500 to $600 game. Yeah, I've seen that. Is what it is. So, man, now I'm thinking I need to go read the rules. Okay. I'll go make sure I'll do that later. I've got time. I'm off. All right, let's see. Strategy page. So I had reached out to Jim Dunnigan. Of course, designed Jutland and several other games, a whole long list. But Tom Shaw, I met him in New York at the Toy Fair. Used to go on there, big building. He agreed to design a game. Hold on. That'll be a problem if that didn't clear up. And so I reached out to him to see if he'd come on and do a show. So on strategy page, and then they have strategy talk, they were already getting ready to release podcasts where Jim Dunnigan's going to talk about all this stuff. Dan Masterson is the kind of the director or the coordinator for all this. He reached out to me, said, man, I've seen your show. I love Hand Tag. And what you're doing with Avalon Hill was what gave us the idea, because Jim comes on and talks about history as if it is a game sometimes, or not sometimes. That's how they do strategy page. And then he said, hey, I've been wanting to have games reviewed on this show. We do book reviews and everything else. Would you mind if I posted your games reviews here? Absolutely not. So he's been putting stuff there, and it's helping get the word out. And I'm just telling you, I like listening to the Strategy Talk podcast, both for the history and for like current events. It's a great way to kind of get, it's a different way of getting the news is how I look at it. So, and Jim works for, I don't know all the details, but he works for like a think tank or something. Excuse me. My goodness. Oh, let's see. Yeah, combat board games. Yeah, you are on strategy page now. Very cool. Yeah, they're putting me out. I'm in a little segment for board game reviews, and that's been awesome. Conflict says, yes, read the Patreon rules. I'll go do that. You've included the link to the page. Yeah, I don't think you're seeing it. Yeah, I can't see it here. I think they hide that. If you want to do me a favor, send it to me on Board Game Geek because I can get it through Geek Mail, and then I'll go look at it. I'll make sure I'm not about to violate some rules. Kabuki Kid, I think I've heard about issues about that. By the way, rules about giveaways. Oh, so definitely wise to check the rules out. I'll do that. Sorry, start a whole conversation there. All right, let's see. I think that's it. We're at 31 minutes. Anybody got any questions? Because if not, I know I'm going to be going and reading some rules, taking a break, and then doing some more gameplay and filming of Austerlitz from Trafalgar Games. I'll wait a little bit. And we got Stay Golden. Oh, if I can keep old C3PO on there. Have you ever tried out Target for Today or Tonight? I've not. Steve Dixon is the designer of that. And I know that it is kind of a evolution of B-17 Queen of the Skies. And my understanding is it's very faithful to that Queen of the Skies feel. It adds in a lot more simulation from my understanding. Like there's a lot more of, I think there's fuel management. I want to say, is there a deal for navigation? And takeoff and landing, I think, is a lot more detailed, if what I remember reading about it. I will tell you just aesthetically, although it's neat, you can get a lot more variations on your planes. I did not like the counters and where they're put on the B-17 map board. I like the cards and how they're big and how they're coming in on the B-17 and the regular B-17 Queen of the Skies game. But no way I can really criticize it. That's just for me looking at it. I've never played it. I hear it's awesome, and it's Queen of the Skies B-17. The original is expensive, so the idea that you can get the Target for Today or Target for Tonight, we're using Lancaster. I think that is awesome because it keeps really the B-17 memory alive. So let's see what else I missed here. Tom D. Chief, have you tried the Dr. Ruth game yet? I didn't, but I showed it to my wife. The first thing she said is, we're not playing this with another couple. And I said, no, that wasn't my plan. Like victory games, like the games you and I and all of us here love, they have the extended rules that are rules that allow you to play it between just a couple. That is how we'll try it. Because some of the stuff is, as you saw, if you watch my unboxing, it'll be like what turns you on in bed or something. And then all the folks playing, so it'd be the other couple and your significant other would be commenting on that. My wife wouldn't be up for that at all. So, I mean, whatever, to each their own. I knew she wouldn't like that part, but it has this cool game element, the concentric circles. So it looks like, almost looks like a chariot race or a horse racetrack, the oval. And then you're trying to work your way further into these tighter ovals. Of course, what you're also moving along is the central track or something. I don't know. So I like the game element of it. I don't know. It looks cool. I'm going to have to play it. I'm telling you, and I'll probably do a review of it. But do me a favor. Go give that a thumb up because it's got 87% approval because a bunch of people are thumbing it down. I'm like, why are they thumbing it down? I never troll for thumbs because really any interaction is good interaction. But I just found that as funny. So, all right. Let's see. Time passed too quickly. Just got target for the day last week. Is a good progression B17. Great. Tony Holton says that. Vorpal, I am so sick of this lockdown. I need my game club before I shoot up the post office. Okay, don't make any post office shooting threats. Here's the weird thing with the lockdown. I'm an essential worker being on the police department, so it doesn't feel like I'm any part of the lockdown at all. I'm wearing my mask. We have a rule that was passed by our city council that you got to wear your mask if you're ever inside or in a business or you can't social distance. And we're using education, not enforcement. I'm always nervous about government telling people put that mask on or whatever it is, or we'll lock you up in jail. And nobody wanted to do that, so it was more like a fine or a ticket. But even that, I'm thinking, gosh, I mean, where I work, we've got some homeless folks and stuff. I'm not putting a homeless guy in jail because he doesn't have a mask on. Just not doing it. So we're using education, and then if people are of low income, we even give them these little surgical masks. We don't have a lot, but that's my only deal with the mask controversy. I don't think someone should be fined or go to jail if they're not wearing a mask, but I better be careful because I enforce the law as it's given. Luckily, we've taken an education standpoint, and we donate masks if it looks like someone can't afford one. So that has been what we're doing. Hold on, let me move here. Vorpal, I really like those biplanes from Wings of Glory. Yes. You know what? I've been trying to get the Wings of Glory where Eagles or Eagles Reich. I'm trying to get those. And I mentioned it in my B17 deal because instead of using the cards, I want to use these little miniatures. But I couldn't find any of them. If anybody knows where I can get a good deal on them, or if they have some and they don't play that game and they're willing to sell them to me, let me know. I just don't have the heart to start collecting a new miniatures army. I want to use it for my B17 game. I need 109s, FW 190s, and 110s. Let's see, Tom D. America Bomber. Yeah, and they use a K in there. That's from Greg Dixon. That's Greg Dixon. Greg, oh, come on now. Now I'm going to mess it up. Greg. I'm forgetting the designer's name now. I just tripped myself up. Somebody throw it on there. America Bomber, Evil Queen of the Skies. Greg Smith, it's right there. Read a little further. Read a little further, Ron. Gregory Smith. It is supposed to be more like the original B-17. I want to play that. I've played as Interceptor Ace. I liked it. It's you're a single fighter attacking bombers, trying to stay alive. Then, of course, you have the Skies Above the Reich where you're a whole Stoffel. And then it breaks into a little bit like an individual attack. I like the operations level of trying to attack a bomber box with Skies Above the Reich. Combat board games. I bought a copy of B-17 at half price books last Friday for $14.99. Wow. Punched but unplayed. Holy moly, that's a steal. Half price books. Man, they didn't know what they had. Let's see. If you don't want to watch a video, just skip it. Oh, that's fine. You know what's funny though is even thumbs down counts as interaction, so it doesn't hurt. It's just a negative interaction. But maybe people didn't like one of the cards is a little racy, so I don't actually read what it says, but you can see it. But I love Dr. Ruth. When I was a kid, she was on Donahue. She's always talking clinical, but she is very honest about good sex. Let's see, Kabuki Kid, I just wish people would want to wear masks to help get rid of this thing. Sure. But, my big deal is I'm a huge history fan, so I get nervous when government decides to enforce things. I love education over force. I'll put it that way. And that's simply because when I read history, oh boy, my goodness, I am a member of the government. I do have a gun. And governments, because of the power situation there, can get corrupt. Any government. And I believe you've got to always remember and be vigilant to keep that from happening. That's it. But wear your mask. Have you ever checked out the Enemy Coast Ahead games? I've seen them, haven't played them. They're solo games with a lot of focus on preparing for the mission. Doolittle Raid, oh, it jumped on me, and Dam Busters. Sounds great. I've seen them, have not played them. You know what? I'm doing so much history stuff and all my prepping for Tom Shaw, my game playing fell way off. Let's see, Tom D. Everything jumped here. I have Doolittle Raid on the way to me. Rough Swordsman is starting a playthrough of it now. He's a rough swordsman. Dr. Ruth was great, adorable, and smart. Yes. If I do a review, I may try to do her voice. Probably can't. It's just that kind of sweet, high-pitched German accent. So it is okay. I can't do it. All right, no enemies here. You got a big heart, Chief, especially if you were 6'6". That's right. I need to exercise more, though. So I got to keep that heart in shape. Tony Holton, have you tried any of the DVG Down in Flames games? No. I think I had a digital version of that I bought long ago. If I remember right, you were moving from different altitudes and trying to get that height advantage. So I guess I have tried it, but it wasn't the card board game version of it. It was a digital version. Tom D. Dr. Ruth was a crackpot making money from sex. I don't know about a crackpot. But hey, to each their own. Trevor's on. What's up, Chief? Not much. About ready to wrap it up, Trevor. I think I'm going to go at 50 minutes. I had a very long B-17 session, and I think my voice is shot. Let's see. I think that's it. I will show this again. Confessions of an 84-year-old teenager. Keep the glare off of it. That is Tom Shaw's book, or by Thomas N. Shaw. Self-published, I'm sure. And a little bit expensive as self-published games go, or books, not games. And some people in the reviews didn't like it because it's focused on his whole life, not just Avalon Hill. I'm thinking, well, it should be his whole life. A lot of talk about his love for baseball, and then a lot of talk about his love for spending time in the villages. I got to tell you, it made me wonder if they play a lot of board games in the villages, because he makes it sound like they're almost like teenagers just running around having fun, playing pickleball, playing golf, playing bridge. So I'll talk about that when I do my show. Yeah, I'm not ready for the villages yet, but he made it sound very fun. That because he'd had a farm in Maryland, yeah, and he said it was getting hard to keep up the farm. And then they visited, and everybody down there was having so much fun that it played into him being like a teenager again. Of course, he designed football strategy first and then baseball strategy. I have football strategy over there. I think I even have baseball strategy. But all right, let's see. Some came in here. Let me slide up here. So Trevor had a birthday. He's 40. Happy birthday, Trevor. Jerry Ferraro. I hope I'm saying your name right, Jerry. Command and Colors, Prussian Army, comes in the mail today. Anyone here played it? And thank you, Jerry. You're also on Patreon. Let's see. Whoop, jumped on me. Long live Ham Tag. Someday I'll serve on the plane. Keep on flying, boys. Yep, you're on the list. I don't have it over here, but I just had to give you a sneak peek. We had a crew member and we had to replace. That's all I'm saying. And I won't tell you exactly which mission because I'm editing one and then I just filmed. Well, I'm editing 8 and I just filmed 9. So hopefully I can get them out soon. I actually fell behind on that. Let's see. Jerry has football strategy. Did he also design pickle strategy? He should. He should. Perfect. Wow, I'm losing it. All right, I'm going to call it now. All right, game it, you gamer gods. That is boom. That I'm going to read Patreon rules and make sure I'm not a violator. Whoop, Tom D. Chief. I did thumb up your Dr. Ruth unboxing vid. Sweet. If you guys want, go thumb that baby up. We need to counter those down thumbs. Thanks for all your interviews. Very informative and very fun. I'm loving it. These diving back into the Avalon history stuff. I had kids. I remember being 13 when I got Queen of the Skies and then Ambush and all of my Avalon Hill and Victory games. And man, I thought of Hartford Road in Baltimore, Maryland as some kind of board game mecca. So it's been fun for me to dive into the reality. Okay. That's it. All right. See you guys later.